So we're just having a discussion about Luke not running out of calories. So welcome to the Swolemates Update for the week. So now we both have seats, so Luke doesn't have to lay on the floor.
I like sitting.
So it is 3 days after Thanksgiving. And we've had quite a series of events since last week.
We have? What was the series of events?
Because Luke woke up this morning and was heavier than last week. So he had to, try to repair some of his Thanksgiving damage.
My blood sugar was high too because I went overboard at 1 o'clock in the morning. So, I worked my part-time gig last night, so I wasn't home until like 12:30 and my blood sugar was low. So,
but in all honesty, like what I would tell my clients is, and I don't know why, you could have been up because of that, but you're probably up from Thanksgiving too. Plus we've been eating leftovers, you more so than me, since Thanksgiving. But probably all of that weight gain is not all weight gain. It's going to come back down. So like you can't undo, like you can't fix Thanksgiving damage, right? Like you just have to move on. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I mean, you can probably work on it, like, but you're not, like she said to me this morning, I wasn't trying to get rid of all of it in one day, but I've been doing cardio 2 days straight. She said, you can't get rid of it all in one day. So yeah, don't try and get rid of it all in one day. I wasn't trying to get rid of it all in one day. I was just doing cardio.
I just say that, the being consistent is the main thing that you need to remember. And so like, so often I see with my clients, like your Thanksgiving, even a day or two before, they stop tracking.
Yeah.
Right. And then so they don't track Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And they're like, okay, well, I'm going to get back on track on Monday. Well, the thing is, though, it's fine to have a Thanksgiving meal. I mean, even some leftovers is fine too, and not feel guilty about it. But I think it becomes a problem when you just decide to stop tracking and then it snowballs and you've gone 6 days with thousands of calories over what your goals are. Then that turns into an issue because you've got to be more consistent in that. But anyway, that was the beginning of my talk. So we're
being
here.
Consistently inconsistent isn't being consistent.
Always stop it. Okay, so here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to be like day after day after day where, and I've done this before, y'all. So this goes back like decades for me, but it's kind of like you start out the day and you're doing like so good, right? And then this was back before like there were apps and I was just, tracking things by hand. You're doing good and then like something happens and you go off plan or, you eat things you're not supposed to. And so you don't track it, right? Because if you don't track it, it just doesn't count. And so that not tracking would turn into the whole rest of the day didn't get tracked because it's like, oh, well, I didn't know how to track that, or I didn't bother making an effort. So the one thing turns into the whole day and then it starts all over again the next day. Right. And it's like a terrible habit. It turns into a habit. And
that sounds like my whole last bulk. If you don't track it, it doesn't count.
If you don't see it,
Folks, I did not track for like a year and a half.
And it becomes, it's really hard. I told him too, you can't go from somewhere when you don't know where you are. Like even if you just even moderately tracked, like let's say you tracked 3 days out of 7, but you tracked honestly and consistently that day, you're gonna, if you've been eating that way every day, then you kind of know where you are. But if you've gone for weeks and months, have no idea what your calories are, no idea what your macros are, then it's like when you're starting to prep for something, it's like, good Lord, you don't even know where to start. Like you don't even, and you don't know what works for you, like what's going to work for you to build, what's going to work for you to cut, like none of it.
Yeah.
So don't be like Luke.
When you edit this, if you can throw in a picture and try to find a picture of me back when I was my biggest.
Oh yeah, I'll try to put in some pictures. I don't, I'm not the best at editing. I'm working on it, y'all, but this is just a lot of talking, and I try to put some things in. I'm getting better.
Yeah.
I will say. So anyway, last week when we talked, I said I gained all of the weight I was supposed to gain in a month, like in a week. So it's like, well, okay. So I had said, let me check my notes. I had cut last weck when we talked. I said, all right, so I actually only dropped 139 calories from the week before, just to kind of see if that was maybe like where maintenance was. I actually lost 2 pounds this week. So, this is kind of a time, this is a process that takes time to like know what's happening, because especially girls, I think more so, like females more so than males, have a lot more different hormones and fluctuations in things that like cause a lot of water retention and things like that. So you can't, and guys, the same thing goes, like you can't make a knee-jerk reaction to something that happens on the scale, like after 1 day or 2 days, just like Thanksgiving. Like you're gonna gain on Thanksgiving, right? Because you're gonna probably have a ton of carbs, a ton of sodium. So you're gonna weigh more. Well, if you just look at the scale the next day and be like, oh, I gained like 6 pounds, I better like cut my calories in half, right? Well, then, it just takes your body time to like level out. You're gonna level out.
I suggest you don't even weigh the next day. just don't, because it's just not going to be. If you're worried about that kind of stuff, it's not going to be helpful. No. If you're trying to lose weight, that's my blood sugar. It's low. If you're trying to,
and if you're diabetic,
yeah, if you're diabetic, I'm a type 1 diabetic. But yeah, if you're trying to lose weight and you're already obsessing about what the scale says and stuff, and then you have Thanksgiving dinner or anything, I mean, because we're coming up on Christmas too, there's always so much food and so many big parties or whatever that you're going to go to, and if you weigh yourself after that, it's just going to be demoralizing.
Just remember, y'all, that it's a number.
Yeah.
Like I actually weigh every day just because I like to know what's going on, and I don't really stress about it anymore. But so the day after Thanksgiving, I gained like 0.2 pounds, and I mean I ate a ton, but that's just what happened that one day. It can be any other given day. I can eat normal, I can eat whatever, and I'll gain 4 or 5 pounds. Like you can't just go. The scale is not a good indicator of the whole thing that's going on. Like it is one tool and that's it, but you've got so many other ones that are more accurate, and just like pictures, weight does not matter all that much. I mean, unless you're doing something where the scale weight actually matters, which is probably not likely.
Yeah, unless you're wrestling.
If you're a wrestler or a bodybuilder that's like meeting a class that's well, if you're a bodybuilder that's in a weight class, like
I don't think there's any weight classes in like the OCV doesn't have any.
Not for bodybuilding?
I think they're by height.
Do. What?
Yeah. I think they're both by height. Everything's by height.
But anyway, so scale doesn't matter all that much.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of where I was this week.
And if you're going to if you're new to all of this and your goal is to lose weight, say you're overweight and you're trying to lose weight, the scale isn't great as a tool towards the beginning because you're actually going to stay pretty flat at a point in your weight loss if you're going to the gym and you're working out, because you're actually going to add some muscle tissue, and so your fat loss may not seem as much on the scale. And so don't obsess about the scale. That's it. I'm done with the scale.
So anyway, so talking about Thanksgiving, keep those things in mind. This may not even be posted, but there's always events. There's always events. There's always holidays. There's always something. Somebody always has a birthday. Like, I mean, it's like you've got an office dinner, you've got a birthday, you've got, girls' night. There is something guaranteed every week, every month, that there's a reason, right? So you've got to prioritize what you want your lifestyle to be, because I can give you every reason in the world to just eat whatever, like birthdays, whatnot, but it actually takes, if you plan it to where you really want to enjoy it, I think that it makes it better anyway. Like, you enjoy it more if it is limited. If you go out and you eat and you drink whatever you want all the time, like for me, like I get tired of that. Like, I don't appreciate it as much as if, like I'm looking forward to something really special. And, it's like I tell people with dessert, like if I have a lemon meringue pie, yeah, I can eat the whole lemon meringue pie. However, like the first 3 bites are the best. Like, that's what you enjoy the most. The more you have it, the less enjoyable it is. Like, and then it's just added calories that you really didn't appreciate. So I think you have to plan that stuff out. And so anyway, I'm starting my prep on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
So this is a shock to. So you heard it here the same time
I didn't know.
Well, so my original plan was probably somewhere around my birthday would put me like 16 weeks if I'm competing Easter weekend. But as we have discussed many times, it's better to be ahead. So, I would rather start and have, a birthday dinner, Christmas dinner, whatever, and be ahead of the game versus waiting until, it's really going to be crunched too hard time. Because normally I do like 20 some weeks. And so we had discussed, when you're prepping, it's probably better for your body to like go harder, but give yourself like diet breaks or a cheat meal or whatever, just to kind of let your body recover.
Metabolism.
Yeah. So, your metabolism is very smart anyway. Like, it quickly adapts to what you're doing.
Yeah.
So,
your whole body does that.
Yeah. So if you're in a deficit for weeks and weeks, your body just adjusts. Your resting metabolic rate is going to lower, and you don't really want that, but that's going to happen when your calories are cut anyway. So it's better to possibly go harder and have a break.
It sounds counterproductive to like not go super hard all the way through trying to drop your calories just keep dropping them to lose weight instead of doing a hard cut and then a diet reset and doing a hard cut. That's what I'm going to try next time, because I went hard. I go hard every time that I prep, and you know what? It hasn't worked yet.
Well,
so I
think,
keep doing it, and it hasn't worked yet. So you gotta change something. I gotta try something.
See, I always start like further out.
She's gonna guinea pig for me. She's gonna try it.
I start further out. I have done every
out.
Well, yeah, but you had to start further out. Like, I don't feel like I'm at that point. Like,
No.
I don't feel like I'm super tons of fat to lose. I mean, technically, yes. But you know, it's not like I have to lose half of my body fat to get to where I need to be.
Shoot, y'all, I was like almost 240 pounds when I started my last cut. So, and I ended at 185.
Yeah, I don't have that much to go. For sure.
And I'm 200 right now. I was 200 pounds this morning.
So.
What, 3 days after Thanksgiving? Yeah. Anyway, so you're starting it on Wednesday?
So yeah, I'm starting Wednesday.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun in
December 1st.
One of us is always prepping.
Well,
so much fun.
Not always, but we'll see how it goes. You know, I have a lot of stuff going on anyway. You know, I'm working on my dissertation. I'm teaching college. I have a gym, all the things, and so it's hard. But I seem to do better when I have more things to focus on. But like I was saying, like on my other preps, it's been so far out that I've started that, you know, and the reason that I've done that is because slower is better to preserve muscle. But again, I mean, research has shown, like, there have been studies, and it does show that like diet breaks can be the same. So you're not just cut more and more, even if it's slow. It's better to have diet breaks in there. So ideally, you know, you want to keep as much muscle as you can. I've always been, you know, it's hard for me to gain muscle anyway. And so now I'm at the point where I feel I really have to start working on specific like body parts. Like, I've always trained everything pretty hard, you know, but there are things that need prioritizing over others. Like, and I know, you know what I'm talking about, but, you know, like for me, shoulders have always been like, my shoulders always need to be wider. I mean, like more capped or whatever. But so we'll look at all the parts that need the most work.
All parts.
You know, you all can, if you want to comment on my pictures and say you need better this, then, you know, feel free. It's okay. My feelings will not be hurt. But I'm working on things.
She's working on me too. I'm working on things.
So anyway, so that's our update for this week. And thank you for being here. I probably should have said at the beginning, but, you know, be sure to subscribe if you have not. Like, because it helps the algorithms. That's the word. It helps the YouTube algorithm. So we will be back, you know, for weekly updates. If you have questions about anything, feel free to drop them in the comments, and we will talk to you all next time.